But I hope something changes because, I've heard the saying, science progresses one funeral at a time, and I worry that that's probably going to be the case with the antidepressants and the benzos and, all of the old guard who've been doing this their whole careers, and there may be a lot of dissonance to say, actually, wow, I was kind of part of one of psychiatry's clusters. There's been a lot of them with the lobotomies, and I'll just sign myself up as the person who didn't realize this. I think there's an incredible amount of cognitive dissonance, but I do hope that maybe there is a push, maybe, I don't know if it has to be the child of a senator or a president to get harmed by something like this, where eventually it makes a splash and causes people to wake up and gets things moving without essentially just the old guard slowly dying off and not having to face what's happened. But I'm kind of cynical and bleak, but that's how I see it.
I think your cynicism and bleakness is probably warranted. I should present the UK as a utopia. It's certainly not when it comes to this. I agree with you. I mean, part of why there's been more progress on this issue in the UK than America is partially because powerful people have been affected by it, or their children. So, it does come down, with 1 in 4 people in America on a psychiatric drug, of course there will be senators' children on these drugs. It hopefully won't take that, but it might.
Hello, good morning.
I hope that my colleagues, as they learn more about, I think the cognitive dissonance is such a big thing. What's the saying that it's very hard to get somebody to understand something that their job depends on them not understanding. It's such a key quote in this area. I think it's very hard. Someone came up to me and said, look, everything you've been doing your whole career has caused a lot of harm. All my late nights, studying for exams, extra shifts has all been, a waste or harmful. I would be very, very angry at that person. So I understand why people react very strongly to me. There's a lot of hate directed at people that tell you you're wrong. I'm hoping that some people will have the courage and bravery to go beyond
so
that
far this morning,
to face what is going on.
had some lemon water. Now I'm having some of that tea I got yesterday.
Who wants to know more about how to
No coffee yet.
Often
I
psychiatrists.
don't have coffee every morning.
Emails I get are from psychiatrists themselves who want help in coming off their drugs. So I think there's this kind of conspiracy theories that psychiatrists.
You wanted making fish sticks and onion rings.
Most psychiatrists are like me, learning what they're doing from university. Don't know what's
he
going
woke
on
up
with their own symptoms because of the way they've been trained.
Sometimes he will eat that for breakfast.
That's not the level of
He'll eat
conspiracy.
supper food for breakfast all the time, but he's been awake
That's why they end up on their drugs
since 4 or
themselves and drink their own
5
Kool-Aid like
yesterday
I do.
afternoon.
I do think it's a little bit, there's a different level of understanding amongst the academic leaders. I think they...
Oh yeah, had a busy day playing VR and stuff.
Pro-drug messages who do whatever they can to skew the data to favour the drugs.
He loves it. He said it was really cool because they made a game where people who don't have a VR can play, and like the VR people are big robot hands or something. I don't know. They go around like trying to crush the people playing on their laptops or something. I don't know. What was it called?
International conferences, and there's various ways you can do this. One way is you go to the NIH and you try and get a public grant from the government. It's super competitive. It's also not doesn't come with a lot of dollars. Maybe you self-fund your research, within your institution. Obviously that's not a lot of money and very competitive. Or you help drug companies run clinical trials for drugs that they want to come on the market. They give you a load of money, they write the protocol for you, they give you the staff, they handle data entry, and then they fly you around the place to talk about it. It becomes just this very smooth way to earn all of the trappings that you need for promotion. And then if that's your goal, your self-interest is aligned with like, hey, I want to be the head of psychiatry at my institution, why would you say negative things about the drug? I mean, maybe you even think these things sometimes, but you go, you know what, like, I don't have tenure yet, and maybe this is just the way the game is played. And then so you end up in this situation where your name is on a bunch of papers that these drug companies have written. You've just kind of gone with the flow because you're busy and you just want to get to where you want to be, and before you know it, it's like you're so deep in there that you can't speak out against it because, you know, your name is on all of these papers pretty much saying that these drugs are life-saving, and, you know, anyone who talks negatively about them is, you know, harmful, and you're essentially just been, I guess, bored, and
at Regeneron, science becomes medicine, and medicine becomes possibility.
It's called Voxel Destruct 2, but he wanted to make it clear that he believes the game is called Voxel Destruction, but he said it's in early access. It's like 99 Robux, which is like $1. Yeah, but he said Voxel Destruction wouldn't fit in the space because there's only so much space to write, and they also had to fit in early access. So it's written up as Voxel Destruct 2. Are you going to play it? Are you going to check it out? Yeah, he said it's really fun. Voxel, that is a cool word. I'm going to look that up. Voxel. Yeah, kind of like toxic or something. That's what I was thinking. Or because I want a girl to go home. I want to dream of her, so I don't have to dream of her. Alexa, volume 5. Alexa, volume 4. Alexa, volume 3. He likes tater tots with the fish sticks and barbecue sauce with onion rings. That's how I like it too. I'm a fan of the Vandicamps. I like the Vandicamp brand because there's no dairy or anything in the batter. It's just wheat, of course. These are the Pollock ones. Vandicamp's fish sticks, established in 1915. They're really good, dude. Cheers. You get 44 fish sticks. Have you ever counted? Have you ever counted the box of fish sticks to see if there's 44 fish sticks? Have you ever gotten 43 or 45? Are you a counter? Oh. I get a double one sometimes, yeah. I've gotten 2 crossed, like a cross, and like an X. Alexa, play music from 1962. Play music from 1962. Alexa, volume 4. some yesterday. We got the Alexia onion rings. They're really good. There's no dairy or egg in the batter. Just wheat. Wheat flour, vegetable oil, canola. One or more of the following might have canola or sunflower oil. I know a lot of people with the seed oil. Yeah, you saw how quickly that faded out. But I mean, it was popular for a little bit. Got a lot of clicks. Seed oils. Oh, real? Did you really? I know they fall for it every time, but no one seems to. The people who need to get it never get it. They never get it, and they usually just profit from it. Right, you take the risk, hoping that people get it and catch on. You take the risk knowing that a lot of people are gonna profit and scoop in. That's how it works usually with high-level cases like that. Well, they're very low, yeah, like under the ground, like underground stuff, yeah. High risk, right. Thank you. I didn't mean to confuse you. I meant high risk. High risk. Did I say level? Silly me.
I'm on Twitter with the handle @Mark.
It's ridiculous.
Education might be useful for that. You can give a talk about any topic you like. Don't have to mention our products, not a part of it, but we'll get you on our roster. And in fact, some of your seniors, people you work with, have also done the same thing before, and I can see we didn't get to the dollar amount. I said, I don't think I'll do that, but you can see how, yes, I'm sort of interested in that. That does make a bit of sense, and not talking about that, sort of small steps, and you're being groomed. So by the end, you're saying what they want you to say.
Alexa,
although at every single stage, you think this isn't a big deal.
1956.
I think that's definitely how it ends up.
It's crazy, like, I remember working at Janssen, and it was like the head of neuroscience. This is right when Spravato came onto the market, and there were some people criticizing Spravato, just saying, "Oh, don't make the same mistake with Spravato as the other antidepressants." Publications coming out, and I remember just hearing like, we should go and tap this academic and this academic over at these institutions to respond. And it's so manufactured. It's just like, rebuttal can't come from Janssen. Let's, don't worry.
Parenting these days is overwhelming. Hey, do either of you know my son? He's got his lunch. Really? Kids, career, former co-stars who text all the time.
No, that wouldn't be me.
Ty, we are literally sitting next to each other.
Julie and I are both real-life parents of teens, so yeah, I do reach out now and then.
Every day?
Maybe every day, with questions.
Really important ones, like, what is aura and do I have it?
Or, why does my daughter keep calling me brother?
But when Ty texted me, and I quote,
Alexa,
is meningitis a city in
5.
Greece?
Alexa,
I thought this was something we should take
5.
seriously, because honestly, I wasn't 100% sure what meningitis was either.
See?
But I think it's something teens can be vaccinated for.
Oh, well, if there's vaccines for it, I know my kids are vaccinated. I'm certain. I'm fairly certain. I think they are. I'm going to test my real life.
So I called my friend, Dr. Rebecca Hall. She offered to jump on a call with me and Ty.
We'll get the raccoon filter.
But I thought some of us might learn more from a hands-on approach. So Dr. Hall offered to take us on a meningitis educational tour.
We're going to Greece.
We asked our real kids to join us on the tour. Not surprisingly, they fit them.
So instead, he hired a teen actor to VR kids with me.
My name is Sam.
Not today,
So, meningococcal disease, known as meningitis, is an uncommon but serious illness that can cause permanent complications or even death, sometimes within 24 hours. Among teens and young adults, 16 to 23-year-olds have the highest rates of meningococcal disease.
I'm going to go talk to my mates over there. I know that they run their own independent COVID research where you get them to respond to this.
That happened to me. So, I wrote one of those articles in British Journal of Psychiatry. We got. So two things happened. People who work for Janssen.
Was that you? Was that actually with the Spravato thing as well?
Well, I wrote an article in the UK in 2020 about Spravato, saying it was ineffective. And we got responded to. They tried to. We don't know it was there was two groups of academics. Both of them. One of them was made by Janssen. Wrote letters. But then in all of that, they tried to get our paper retracted. So one of those groups asked for our paper to be retracted from the journal. It took us 9 months of replying line by line, like legal letters about where our facts came from. We had to go through every single fact. It wasn't retracted in the end, but it wasted a huge amount of our time. So, they really, with vexatious complaints, really burnt our time down. So I made that happen all over the place.
Yeah, I think I was kind of behind the scenes on that one. That's funny to think about, but but it's they form relationships with people, and then obviously there's a huge incentive to help them with things. I also think about John Mann over in Columbia, another Australian psychiatrist who's the Janssen Endowed Chair of Psychiatric Research over there, who's published all of those articles against iiil and how antidepressants don't cause suicide, which is just it's ridiculous. But they're everywhere. So, and it also seems that maybe you would have just given up if you didn't have the time to respond to these things line by line. There's also a kind of an intimidation and a resource depletion that you can do, with lawyers and things like that. Well, Mark, I could talk to you for a million years, and maybe we'll get you on again because there's so much to talk about. But how can people support you? How can they get in touch with you? What's the best way for people to take next steps if they're interested in you and what you do?
So I've got a dinky little website, markhorowitz.org, where I work, a contact page. I'm on Twitter, the handle @MarkHorrow. Please think about buying my textbook, The Autistic Prescribing Guidelines. It's sold at Wiley, it's sold at Amazon all around the world, or letting your prescriber know that it exists, GP, psychiatrist, nurse prescriber. I don't think it's the nicest gift about a special prescriber in your life, but you might consider a gift. I don't know if you wish to buy it from their doctors. Letting people know that if you read it and like it, leave a review. It would be very helpful, because my aim is that this book becomes as part of the mainstream, as part of the feminine, as the autism prescribing guidelines and styles textbooks in America, so that doctors will have both, because there are so many books telling you about how to start medications. I hope it will normalise the process of stopping medications, so people will understand that more and prevent some of the harm.
Everyone, go buy Mark's book. I think if you're going through withdrawal, if you
I've only seen clips of it, but they're really
funny. I got my copy
funny.
in the mail, and I can't wait to use it to train my staff. Actually, I work with lots of coaches. I think it's the best tool that's going to be out there to kind of grow my team and help people learn how to do this really important work. So, thank you for writing it. Thank
Looks like that's what an air fryer is for.
Yeah, cheers. Cheers.
But this one, it seems to cook like 2 or 3 minutes quicker than an air fryer time.
Mylanthus vanilla caramel. Faster. It makes painful heartburn history. Mylanta works on contact with smooth, delicious flavors. Mylanta, faster than heartburn.
Yeah, because that's the new one we got recently, right?
Yeah, it's the ninja.
Yeah, I told you, remember when I was getting the senses from the box? Remember that? I was like tapping. Yeah, I told you, I know the quality. I told you.
You were right, I almost got the other one. I love it.
I could sense it. I could feel the power radiating from it. I just knew it was around me. See?
Your senses. Your senses.
Talk to another former president about the Iran strike. Was it George Bush? No. Was it Bill Clinton?
Should I add more to this one, or do you think that would be enough?
Barack Obama.
A member
It
of
might
the
be
parliament,
enough.
a member of the parliament, they
Probably.
have Trump derangement syndrome, but somebody that happens to like me, and I like that person is a smart person, but that person said, I wish I did it.
You know what I sound like? You know the pigs from Angry Birds?
I don't want to get him into trouble. Maybe, hey, you know what? You know, it's interesting. Yeah, maybe he'd be proud. I could even ask him that. Would you like me to reveal your name to Peter at Fox?
Have you played that game?
Well, at least you have high
I haven't played the original Angry Birds recently. I did play it back then.
Can I ask you another question about
I know, remember we used to play that all the time.
If
We used
Iran
to set up the Batman
totally
and
obliterated,
Angry Bird
got the
towers.
missiles, got
Yeah, I remember
And
that.
we shoot the Batman.
Air Force gone, Navy gone.
I remember when we would stack like those Minecraft blocks that we had,
I don't think so, but
and then we'd like throw the Angry Birds at it. And we'd put the pigs on the Minecraft blocks.
it'll be wrapped up soon. We're going to have a much safer world.
That was fun.
I had an obligation to do this. I didn't want to, I called it an excuse.
Oh yeah, because that was one too. Remember we had the Hot Wheels
We had the highest
ramps,
stock
and
market.
Yeah.
we would see which ones
We had
would
low
go
gas
faster.
prices. Everything
Oh,
was
I
fast.
remember.
I
I remember. We had the Hot Wheels cars, and we'd set up like that board that we had, and we'd like angle it on a wall, and then we'd have the Hot Wheels cars go down and see which one was the fastest. And I remember after we did that, I would always remember which one was the fastest one in that bin. I would always find it.
small price.
Yeah, you had it memorized like
And frankly, I thought it
which
was
ones.
going to
Which ones were the fastest ones? Which ones won the tournament of speed that we set up with all the cars? I remember I spent so long doing
at a
that,
very high level.
testing all their
Very high
speeds
level
against
chess,
each
the
other.
highest. And I'm dealing with very smart players. These are smart people. They don't get there. You know, when you deal with some of these people, you're dealing with high level intellect, very high IQ people. These are not Jasmine Crockett and her group. These are smart people. These are really smart people, and violent people, and vicious people, and some very nice people. And some are very nice but violent. They turn violent. But you know what? If I didn't do what I did, we would have been hit. Number one, very important, was the termination of Obama's horrible deal. And number two, this beautiful plane hitting them 8 months ago, whatever it was, and taking out their nuclear capacity. That totally threw them for a loop. If they had that bomb at either time, 5 years ago or 7 months ago, if they had that bomb would have been used almost
First of all, Stephen Nerve, what are you expecting this week when this vote takes place in the U.S. Senate? Will the Vice President vote?
I think it's imperative that it gets done. I'm not sure it is, you know. The Democrats have horrible policy. It's just incredible. But they stick together. So one thing they do. Their Supreme Court members stick together. Those appointed by a Democrat stick together. If Barack Hussein Obama appoints a member of the Supreme Court, that member never goes against him. And they're proud about it. They say, I don't give a damn if it's good or bad. That man appointed me and I'm never going to let him down. I don't say that's right. Well, I just say they stick together. Republicans go the opposite way. if Donald Trump appointed me, I'm going to show the world that I can be totally just, that I can be independent of Donald Trump. He's not controlling me. And I don't want to control them. I just want to have smart decisions. They gave us a decision on tariffs the other day. That won't change tariffs. I can do it a different way. I always knew I could do it a different way. This was a little quicker, a little easier, a little better. But they gave it a decision.
No, they're still laughing at me from earlier because I thought Indianapolis was in Minnesota.
Because now I have to start the tariffs all over. They're very simple. And what happens with the money?
Oh, you were Robbie. He's like, Mom.
Why did they say
Indy 500 Indianapolis, Indiana.
$500 billion perhaps.
Where'd you get Minnesota?
Until August got injured, I'd never heard of the Fisher House. It made it very easy to be there to support my brother.
August had 20 surgeries.
I think I was thinking of Constantinople.
They stick together like glue. They impeached me twice for absolutely no reason, unanimously. Fortunately, the Republicans stuck together, and it was something. It was pretty wild. But the Democrats have horrible policy: transgender for everybody, open borders, men playing in women's sports. But the one thing they do have is they stick together, no matter how bad the policy. It's embarrassing to watch them try to defend it. And in a way, I say as a Republican, in a way I say, thank goodness they have bad policy, because you'd never beat them. We have something in there now, the Save American Act. Voter ID with a picture. Right? It's a 99%. Even among Democrats, Democrats poll at 89% on that. And then they have proof of citizenship. And then they have no mail-in ballots. No mail-in ballots. We have no mail-in. You go to California, they send out like 38 million ballots. Some Democrats get 7, 8 ballots. Republicans are a lot of times calling in, where's my ballot, where's my ballot? They're lucky to get one. Jimmy Carter, probably the greatest thing he ever did. I think he was a nice man, not a great president, to put it mildly. How did his attack work out in Iran? Not too good. I think ours is slightly better, wouldn't you say? But Jimmy Carter, the one thing he did after he left with Scoop Jackson and some others, they formed a very elite council, a committee that came out and said very strongly, no mail-in ballots, because if you have, we're the only country in the world that has mail-in ballots like we do. The only country in the whole world. People have tried it. France tried it, and they went away. They're now doing paper ballots, watermark paper.
I think people need to understand that, especially in this day and age of
when you look at what happened,
people getting weird stories. Like, the country wasn't founded because of a race. It was founded of an ideal, an idea, and because the way that it was founded on ideals and freedoms, it opened the door for change.
Absolutely, and it always will.
And it always will, and that's the one thing that I think is missed by a lot of the first worlders who are, and I call them first world, people who the benefits of this country allow you to criticize and you can twist things, and you can have your own truth. I don't even want to.
I don't know how that's humanly possible.
Yeah, it's not possible.
Me and my truth.
That's like you and me talking about our uterus is sore. It's just not going to happen.
Right.
But the idea. But we live in a country where we can say those things, and that's the beauty of it. But it came from this group of young men who knew that their lives will forever be changed, and in a lot of cases, it wasn't for them. It was for us. It was the next generation, and I think that type of sacrifice is something that, with the education of that kind of stuff, might change some of the extreme ideas that we have, or the lazy ideas that we have. Take the time. Even when you watch, after you watch this series, that's your perfect. Go get some books, get some information, educate yourself, and start telling the story of how this country was founded in real terms, And
It's a rich world,
And this was another thing. He took command of an army he didn't know.
You're right. I know. They rode up and met him.
Like, hey guys, what are you doing? I don't know. What do you want to do?
Just after
storm the castle? I'm in. You know.
Yeah, it was a little fly by the seat of his pants there when he walked up to that Long Island battle. It's like, holy crap.
What do we got? 3 muskets, a cannon, and this guy's really good on the drums.
Yeah, right. Let's get out of here.
I mean, think about that. It'd be like, hey, Kelsey, I want you to direct this movie. Okay, what? I don't know. Just show up and see what happens. You know.
You're right.
And most of us would be like, no, I'm not. I'm not going to risk.
Thanks.
You know, I don't know what this is. And this wasn't a production. This was a war. People were going to die. And the other side had training and the traditional way of fighting. That was another thing that. Do you guys go into that a little bit, because you couldn't fight like England? You know, and most Americans were trained to fight like England because they were in the England. A lot of them were in the England
army before. Yeah. No, it definitely comes up about the sort of improvisational nature of what they had to adapt to, and then the Brits were outmatched in time by strategy. You know, it became a strategic thing. There was certainly some elements of absolute luck and providence, as George Washington himself has said. But their tactics were not going to work in America, and that was one of the things that helped us. Even though a third of the people wanted to just stay an English colony,
because there was a real divide.
Yeah, it really was. Yeah.
And once independence is achieved, I think we're always working on that. I think that's never a fit. That's the beautiful thing about America is it's never a finished product.
Yeah.
But it's the best product out there.
The land of the possible. Yeah, absolutely. It's always going to fall a little short, but that's just it. It's the world becoming. We're becoming a more perfect union always, rather than we just are one.
Right. And you have said that you want Americans to fall in love with the country again.
Flintstones, meet the Flintstones. They're modern stunning sounds.
Run inside now!
Mom, look! What the hell's going on?
Yeah.
What do you think that teaching the American people about the Patriot War can bring back? I think a sense of ownership.
I think what happens is it's a sense of identity. Yeah, you can call it ownership, but it's a sense of self-identifying with the same situation. To say, wait a minute, I know what that's like, or I feel that way, and I mean you can relate it to a simple thing as if you feel out of sorts with a group of people you don't know very well, or any number of things that are facing you and your personal struggle today. You can connect to the people that fought this war, 250 years ago, who said, wait a minute, we need better. We're gonna make sure that happens. That's extraordinary, and I think it's fun to it's great that we focused on Martha at one point, because it pulls in the value of the female. Of course, we're nowhere without the feminine. Everything came through the feminine in the first place. It's like why people think we dismiss the feminine is nuts. It's we wouldn't have had the wife. I think it was Samuel Adams' wife who said, "Well, you guys are going to have to wear something if you're going to go down there and throw that tea in the water."
Yeah.
I think she put together a bunch of costumes.
Well, here's the thing: there is no great man without a mother, and there's no great man idea without a woman letting him know.
Just doesn't happen. That's right.
Most of my ideas came from bouncing in the wife putting, hey, I don't know how you're going to tell a joke, but here's the idea.
I look at some kids walking around these days. I'll see a guy, for instance, dressed in a certain way, and I think to myself, okay, what girl is telling you that's sexy?
Yeah.
Who's in charge of making you think that looks good? Because there's some girl somewhere who says, you just hung the moon with your pants down by your ankles.
You know what? I think, unfortunately, that was horrible rap videos. And there's so many aspects to this. Like the French, which for some reason, never on time. Talk a big game. I think more recently, they waited till the Greenland situation was 6 months dead, and they're like, oh, we would have brought rifles if America.
No, but yes.
Yeah, and their support was, I guess you could best characterize as moving slowly during this
they
time.
like to come to the party late.
Yeah, they got stuck in traffic on the ocean. What are you gonna do?
Well, it's funny, the first the French Indian War. I mean, they kind of laid that at George Washington's feet in the movie I just did. Like he was kind of responsible for this incident that happened in the Ohio territories, where some French guys died. And then, of course, they got all pissed off. Then it was a whole war, 6-7 years that was. But then, when they finally decided maybe we were a force to be reckoned with, we did well in one of our battles, and they thought, hey, this American thing, maybe we should, those British,
finally get a W.
Yeah.
When you finish a project like this, what was the most surprising thing to you? What was the one thing like, I didn't realize that, or like, wow, that is just amazing, or I understood it, but there was so much more to it.
The most interesting thing for me is always the Martha Washington input was really great for me. I didn't really have an understanding of that, even though I sort of had some familiarity with it, because it's been something I thought about for a long time. That she was down in the trenches, I didn't quite appreciate that, but that she offered herself as a sort of inspiration to a lot of the men during a time when they really needed it. Yeah. That was pretty impressive to me. That was a nice lesson to get added into this mix. The other thing was always Alexander Hamilton. I still have questions about national banks and national treasury and all that kind of stuff. I keep thinking, I don't know why we need a Fed when we've got a treasury. I mean, I'm an old-fashioned guy that way, but he certainly had some great ideas, and I don't know if I would have aligned with him politically on a lot of stuff, but he did the world a lot of good. He wrote some great stuff, and my hats off to the guys that hatched and turned out the musical Hamilton. I mean, I think they made a couple of missteps in terms of history, but it's at least they identified an heroic character in the past that they brought into life today, and that to me was a huge accomplishment. He was all for the Anti-Sedition Act, which meant you couldn't criticize the government or you'd go to jail. That's not my story. That's not part of my deal. And I didn't think Thomas Jefferson was just a kind of a guy who was flirting around in France without, having any kind of real focus on the issues. But I really enjoyed that piece, and I loved when they did the piece about when George Washington said we're going to teach them how to say goodbye. I thought that was.
There was, really there was some. I know Arnold Schwarzenegger gave credit for all the one-liners, but there was some good lines, and. We talked about Benedict Arnold, briefly, but what did you take away? Because I think he's one of the most fascinating villains in American history, if not maybe. Yeah. But overall, did you see him as weak, resentful, overly ambitious, or was a little bit of everything?
Petty. I just saw him as petty.
Petty, which is a dangerous word.
Yeah, he's not a good guy. In his heart, he wasn't a good guy. Now maybe he wasn't. Whatever life he'd had, maybe it was impossible for him to really become a good guy. I don't know. But he was only looking for what makes me look good, what makes me feel good. Is this going to work? Is it going to make me better? Is it going to make me more powerful? Is it going to make me stronger? And of course, that being his goal, none of the things he did made him powerful or strong.
Funny how that works out.
Yeah. It is a truth. There's a truth to that, and it's. I think it may be a God thing, but still, or maybe we were just damn lucky. But I think somebody was batting for our team, and it was bigger than Benedict Arnold was.
Yeah, and I think you have one of the best outros. I got a chance to look it over, doing a little research, and I was really touched by it. You talk about America being founded. Not on a common race, ethnicity, or religion, but on ideas like liberty, equality, and self-governance. I feel now more than ever that's just a really important message.
Yeah, I stand with you on that. Always will. It never had anything to do with the way you looked. It just has to do with the size of your dreams and the size of the fight and the dog. It's you've been in that world. You are personally involved in a world of fighting and training and all the things that actually you'd have to be if you were going to be doing this kind of a life, if you were to dedicate your life to this kind of a cause. But These guys did it. They put everything they had on the line. And it had nothing to do with the way you looked. It had everything to do with the way you thought and the way you dreamed. And that's all America.
Yeah, and America has been the great experiment. And you don't shy away from the ugly moments. You know, and I think that's part of the learning process. It's also, we should never focus on the ugly moment because it is in history. And, you know, it's so easy to bring back certain convenient parts of the ugly side of the process to get where you're at. But then you're realizing you're able to point out those ugly moments because you have those freedoms and you have those things that we learn from the mistakes. And that's the one thing I think that makes America different, is that we self-correct.
Join us for Pit Stop tonight. We're shaking it up and showing you a different side of Team Toyota. Pit. First stop.
You know, and I never get too rattled when they're, you know, in the nowadays, you know, it's the woke, it's this, it's that, and I was like, you know what? It's funny. I always look at comedy as kind of a sundial. And I said, if you go back, and I said, a lot of people were like, I don't know what we're going to do with this. I said, watch Archie Bunker in the 70s.
Yeah.
It's the same argument.
Yeah.
Him and me, they come out, and it's the same argument. It's the same environment, racing. It's, you know, the young guy with no job is telling the guy with the job, and of course the guy with the job is the bad guy. But you know, but it's self-corrected.
Yeah.
You know, and I think we're seeing that correction in real time. You know, this newest generation that's coming up, they're all about trade schools. They're very conservative. They're back in church. You know, and it's like, it kind of like one group sees the other one and goes, I'm not going to be like them.
I'm not doing that.
I'm not doing it, you know, and then now they're doing it, you know, and it's like, I remember there's this old saying where a man was saying, like, he started, his grandfather walked to work, and then he drove an old truck to work, and then his son drove a Benz to work, but his son ends up walking to work. Like, it's this America kind of, I think that's a good depiction of how it works here. So I don't get too rattled about the craziness.
I don't either.
Because I think we have enough adults in the room, and we have the DNA to stay the course.
Yeah,
you know, and fight the good fight.
And the adults have to show up.
Yeah.
You know, once in a while they don't, you go like, okay. Now, when the noise gets loud enough, then they'll start to get up. Say, okay, that's enough of this.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what it's happening now. It's like, hey, turn that damn noise down. You know, I think the 250 could have came at a better time.
Yeah.
You know, it really regenerated everyone, and patriotism again. I saw some polls, right, and they were trying to show, like, do you love which group loves their country more? And during the Obama administration, 72% of Democrats said they loved America. And during the Trump administration, I think it was like 27% Democrats said they loved America, right? Now, and the Republicans during the Trump administration, 97% said they loved America. During the Obama administration, 92% of Republicans said they loved America.
Yeah.
And
it's fun. Yeah, I know that's it.
And I think that's the difference. I think true patriotism isn't when things are going your way. I think true patriotism is when you don't have your guy in and things aren't going your way, but it's your belief and love in our country to know that in 4 years you can change your mind. But also
we'll see through it. Yeah,
you can also improve your station during that time. I'm going to go back to school. I'm going to get a better job. I'm going to do, you know, that's when the belief system matters. Things aren't going great right now, but I know that my country is going to be better. It might not be my way now. And this series is, I think, echoes that when it was not their way and making a decision and it was not going your way, but you stay the course. And so I look at it to like one side is patriotic and the other side's kind of like being with a narcissistic woman. She only loves you when you're in service to her.
Yeah.
You know. And I think.
Well said, Tyrus.
Not that I've ever been there, but I'm just.
No, I've never been there.
No idea, no clue. But that's a whole other podcast. But I think we're seeing the love of our country again, and this series, I think, really is going to capture that. And I've seen some sneak previews, and I've got a little bit, a little taste. But I'm looking forward to it. I'll be watching it, and And then finally, again, we've talked about Washington and Martha, and that's one thing I didn't know how much of a role she played.
I didn't either.
And maybe that's the next series where you're talking about the women who helped shape this country, because
I'd like to.
There's a long list of it.
Oh yeah.
And so, but patriotism is for everyone. And I think Valley Forge, and this goes in depth about Valley Forge, and I think that is one thing in history that we all need to pay a little more attention to.
Yeah, when we understand what actually happened, you value it.
We got a lot of names
popping
up
up there. Sense of
there.
appreciation for what they did.
Betty Grable.
It boggles the imagination, the kind of hardships they actually went through, and still fought. It's really impressive.
And the saying "chips are down" is not accurate. But what is accurate is I think this is going to be a phenomenal series, and I can't wait to watch it. For everyone,
St. Louis,
like I said, it's going to be on Fox. It's on Fox Nation. Do we have a release date?
I think they started already. I think maybe the next 3 drop now.
The next 3 drop now. So it's okay. Cool. So I will get on top of that. Oh man, thank you so much. I know your time is valuable. You're a busy man doing
she was the
amazing things, and again, I can't wait for Avengers and see you there. And if they have any brains,
earning the nickname.
There was only one blade. There's only one blade, and there should only be one beast. I know they had a younger version, and that's fine. But and again, I have to. Cheers is one of the most iconic.
Little Bob here. This summer, shop the latest small space solutions at Bob's Discount Furniture. From retro chic bedroom sets to stylish space-conscious Bob-O-pedic sofas, it's all at Bob's, where America shops for furniture.
Sitcoms ever. Every character on there was a main character.
There's a lot of names.
Yeah.
Do you take some solace of all the spin-offs that could possibly have came from that Frasier became the character with some? I mean, there was not a bad. Every actor on there was a heavyweight. And maybe that's why it was so great. But you and Lilith's dynamic was something that I was one of the. It was like she was autism before autism was cool. It was like it was just such a great character, and for you to play this dignified psychiatrist who's drinking with a mailman, and we're not really sure what Norm did. Word had it he was an accounnt, but I don't know if that's accurate. And it was such a misfit.
That's really good. That's really good. I was cleaning the toilets for a while at that bar. It was really, great character.
And it was such a powerful character. Was it? I mean, during that process in time, and of course, when Cheers was kind of coming to the end, did you have a feeling that the Frasier character had legs to the point where it would then become its own iconic series?
What's funny, I had visions. I'd been offered another show. They said, we want to do a show with you when Cheers is over. They said, we think you could actually carry a show on your own. I said, great. So we actually started doing with the same writers that ended up on Frasier. We broke a completely different story. And they wrote a script. And I thought it was kind of funny. And I went out for dinner with John Pike, who was the president of Paramount at the time. And he said, get a drink, blah, 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 blah. I ordered a drink. We talked about what was good on the menu. And then in about 5 minutes more, and I said, have you read the script? He said, yeah. And I think a sitcom should be funny.
Yeah.
So he said, this what you guys have come up with? I don't like it. I think you should play Frasier. So it was actually him. It was John Pike who said, play Frasier. And I said, okay, I see what you're saying. Builds an audience. I am kind of funny in the character. He can't be married anymore and he can't have kids. Now, he did have a son. So the whole idea was, my thinking about sitcoms is if there's a child on it, the child growing up every year becomes the most interesting thing about the show.
Right.
So because adolescence, becoming a young woman or becoming a young man is the only really interesting thing that's going on in front of you. So I got rid of that. Have him come in once in a while.
Was that why you went from Boston to Seattle? Because there was a lot.
Exactly why.
Brilliant.
That was it. Yep. So we had to accomplish a separation
without making you a deadbeat dad.
Exactly.
Yes.
Couldn't be a deadbeat dad. It just had to be a man trying to find his way.
Yep. Whose support payments were on time.
There you go.
Well, again, man, thank you so much. I hope to talk to you again soon. But
I hope to see you again soon, Tyrus. I'm a big fan. You know that.
Yeah, and thank you very much, and thank you for all your support and kind words. They go a long way, and we're going to get that Othello thing done.
Okay.
By hell or high water. It might have to be in a community theater. Damn it.
You know what? I've got a farm upstate that's got a big barn. We can just
let's do it. I'm in. Right. Thank you very much, sir.
Thanks, man.
All right.
It's a pleasure.
Bye.
Always.
Oh, so much for the group.
Oh, for a land cruise.
Correction, client is code 4607 for Whole Street, Suffolk and Company. Boston and Hoover, code 3105029, already 1218. Can I repeat?
285, show me code 6 on a 10671. We'll be here until further.
3 for the Roger. Okay, all ground you go. 31 everyone 56, 31 everyone 56,
46023. 52, Canada House. Yes, shop number 8344. That'll be on Broadway, Red Rock 359.
Are you again? Put the crack rock down. It's really bad for you. Put it down. Friends don't let friends do crack rock. Don't do the crack rock. I used to be a cop in the 7-5 precinct, 2 o'clock in the morning. It'd be 30 degrees. You'd see the dude out there on crack rock. You'd be like, man, that guy's got 3 legs. That's not 3 legs. He's naked. It's 2 in the morning. It's 20 degrees. What is he? You'd have to put this guy in EDPM, emotionally disturbed person. Don't do the crack rock. You can't find one negative thing about the arena. You can, you just don't want to, because they're useful for you. Violence against us. Once you see the op, you'll never unsee it. I told you, that's why President Trump is a 10x smarter than these other idiots. He knows exactly what they're doing with the International Criminal Court, using the Netanyahu red hair. Netanyahu, once you mention the Jews in Israel, they don't really care. That's just a tool for them. All right, quick break, and I want to show you this. You want to see what a liberal meltdown looks like? Why are these people so emotionally unstable, and why do they always look like this? Did you see the pronoun guy, the video in the New York Post?
Well, yeah, and the problem is so many are
I'm not unnecessarily teasing this. Am I? This is like,
downers. It's
yeah.
pretty much cracking.
You'll see what I mean. We can't run a country like
mellowed
this.
Down.
We just can't. Quick break. Hey, let me tell you something. When you sign up for your insurance policy, for some brokers, that's the finish line. They shake your hand, you get a commission there, you pass it over, and they're done. And you may not hear from them until it's time for renewal. Well, that's not good. Your business runs all year, like mine does. So do the gaps and the risks.
Many children
that's why I'm introducing
need to be
Super
put on
Sure.
those things so they don't
if your
wind
company
up
is more than
smoking
25
crack,
employees,
right? I know their
owner,
mentality is
CFO,
so
or
fucked
HR
up.
manager, it can be too complex to just buy a policy online. Super Sure is the super agency built for you. Licensed in every state for your business insurance and employee benefits.
Or you could just jump over the
support
puddle.
for you
What's
and
the matter,
for
you
your
can't
team.
jump?
At supersure.com, you can access tools like fine print facts, which translates your current
I stepped
policy
in
into
one
plain
yesterday.
English, so you can see what's covered
Happens.
and what's not.
Stepped right
Plus
in
a
the frickin'
business
puddle.
value calculator, so you can estimate what your business is worth and know what needs protecting. Go to supersure.com/Bongino.
It was my
One
left
super
foot.
agency,
My
one
left foot.
powerful
And I was wearing
platform,
sandals
all
with no
your
socks.
policies in one place. That's supersure.com/Bongino.
I was worried the whole
Consult
way
with a
home
licensed
that there might
insurance
have been
producer to discuss coverage options for your specific
some
business
kind of
needs.
chemical in
Paid
the
for by
pedal.
Supersure Insurance Agency LLC, a licensed
I
insurance
washed
agency.
my foot
Thank
immediately
you,
when I got
Supersure.
home.
Today's show also brought to you by Brickhouse Nutrition. Folks, let me just ask you a simple question. You need to lose a few lbs, get a little doughy around the middle. It happened to me. I was like, I can't do this anymore. My knees were starting to hurt. Everything was starting to hurt. My pull-ups went down. I was about 238 pounds after I went through the whole cancer thing. I was eating a lot to try to, I overshot by a lot. I looked terrible. Called up Miles at Brickhouse Nutrition. Said, Miles, tell me you got something coming out. He's like, I do. It's a product called Lean. Pretty simple. You want to get lean? Try Lean. You know those weight loss injections, they can be good for some people, but they're not for everyone. About 15% of users quit because of the cost. Another 15% stop because of the side effects. I use Lean. That's what me and Paula use. It got me lean, keeps me lean, from Brickhouse Nutrition. Weight loss shots work by helping
Right, but
control
see, I'm
blood
not
sugar
a
and
freak
appetite, so
about
you
it.
eat less.
I'm okay with it.
So
I can
shots
step in a
work
puddle
for
and be
people.
fine and
Doctor
just shake it
formulated
off
similar
and go the
things
whole
naturally.
day
Lean helps
and be
tackle
totally
your
fine.
hunger.
It's
helps
okay. It's not a
control
mental
and
illness.
support
No, I don't
steady
need
energy
to take
without
medication.
constant craving. Lean did
Because
something
I washed
injections
my
don't.
foot
It
when I
helped my
got
body
home.
turn fat into energy, so I
Okay.
burn fat instead of storing it. Results are there. Balanced diet,
Psycho.
so it's good. My favorite part, Lean is a nutritional supplement, not a shot, no prescriptions, no needles. I lost weight
have
with Lean.
OCD.
Say it yourself, and I believe you can too.
Okay.
Go to brickhousenutrition.com/Dan. Use promo code Dan for 20% off. These statements and products have not been evaluated by the FDA.
I
Products not
think
intended to diagnose,
you
treat, cure,
have
prevent AIDS,
an
disease.
obsessed
It's not a
compulsion
substitute or
with
alternative for
trying
care from a
to
healthcare provider.
analyze and tell people that they have OCD or PTSD or depression or schizophrenia so you can put them on one of those medications. Why?
Some from overseas.
It's either
discussed
profitable
President
to the
Trump's
soul
speech on
or the
Thursday when he
pocket.
talked about a
And for
massive
many, why is it
Chinese
profitable to the
Communist
soul?
Party
Because they've
information
taken it
going
and it
on in the
helped
United
them
States. Russia's been doing
to try
it
to
for
prove a
long
point.
time.
They really
There
hate
have been
people
Middle
like us
Eastern
speaking out
countries that have
against
been doing
it
for a
and have
long
attacked
time.
us for
You've seen
years.
that.
Huh.
You've seen that.
I wonder
Now,
why.
yesterday they
It's fucking
exposed
sick and
the
disgusting
Cuban
how
interface
compliant
here,
and programmed people
South
are.
and Central American influence
We can only
operation. And by the way,
understand, right? You don't want to
you may
get
say,
sued.
isn't all of this stuff illegal? If you registered
I mean,
FARA,
Oprah almost
this
got a
foreign
huge
agent
lawsuit for
registration
saying
act,
she was never going to
it's
eat a
not
burger
illegal to
again
lobby
back in,
the
what,
United States
1996?
What
And
they're
she
talking
dealt with
about,
2
President Trump,
years
is
of this
subterfuge,
huge
where this
threatening
stuff isn't
lawsuit
announced. It's like
because she
agitprop.
said she wasn't
This
going to
is
eat
what
a
you
burger
get. You
again?
get a bunch of people who just, these outbursts you're seeing
Oh, look it
over
up.
and over again.
Something like
There's
that.
this confrontation on this campus here. This guy who believes he's been misgendered. Did you see this video? It's gone viral. Check this out.
What's the problem?
Why do you let those kids get away with this? They are not supposed to be here!
If you don't lower your voice, I am going to put handcuffs on you and I'm going to take you to a Baker Act facility. Lower your voice.
Try it.
Are you threatening me? Can we get another unit to deal with Jay Lee here? He is having a breakdown.
Say! Just say it right now!
What'd you say?
I just gotta like compress that in my ear. I think I lost like my hearing.
No!
You're about to get sprayed.
No! Just leave me alone!
Right now.
Leave me alone!
I can come in there.
Leave me alone, please!
Okay, are you gonna calm down?
I want to.
No, it's too late. It's too late now. He's gonna be taken away.
Oh my gosh.
Stay.
I just want to get away from
Someone
him.
call Harry Sis.
Say! Stop this! Tickling me! Just say!
Please step in. Watch your head.
Why are these people so angry? Why are these people so angry? You know, last night I have the Paramount app, and the app for some reason wasn't working on my Samsung TV. So I had been. You guys watch Landman? I was into season 3, and the app broke like 6 months ago or so. Well, right before I came back on the air, and I just kind of gave up. Not because I don't like the show, but the app just wasn't working, and I just forget. Mudley's are going crazy in the chat. I forgot. So we ran out of shows to watch, my wife and I. So last night she's like, "Hey, give the Paramount app a shot. I promise this is going somewhere." And Landman worked, so we started watching it. And I just saw the episode, you know the one I'm talking about? Where Billy Bob Thornton's, yes, the roommate in college, and it's the same thing. The roommate is trans. It's like, this is my safe space. Like, and the fact that that aired on TV, like Taylor Sheridan is balls of steel, put that out there. But why are they so angry? I hate asking questions I don't have the answer to. In this case, I didn't. I have the answer. I need to jump ahead a little bit and hold AOC for a second. The Don Lemon, the Nazi comparison. This is why. It's not hard to figure out. Why are these people so angry? The answer is they've been fed a bunch of slop down their throats like ipecac syrup, yet they don't throw up. It's like they enjoy it. Like, man, you're fighting the Nazis, the fascists, the bad guys, the totalitarians. You know, Donald Trump's a racist, bigot, fascist, Nazi. When you're told that every single day, folks, it's not hard to understand while people who do no homework on any of those statements actually believe this and want to burn down 26 Fed and start screaming, "Shy! What the was that? That is a totally irrational response from what appears to be an adult. Well, you wouldn't be rational either if you thought you were living amongst Nazi racist fascists. Here's a clip from the Don Lemon Show. Exactly. They just ran a guy in Maine who had an actual Nazi tattoo. You would think they would be like, hey, we got a problem. We got to clean this up. Nope. This is pure projection right here. Check this out.
That once Donald Trump is gone, it's the end of MAGA. I don't know if it's the end of that sort of attitude. I mean, the MAGA is the closest thing to the modern version of the Nazi Party. This is America's version. It's the closest thing without the Holocaust and all that stuff. That sort of mindset. That's what MAGA is, because most intelligent people, logical people, when they get new information, and if that information is negative or not factual, then they change their minds when they go, oh, well, I wish I had known better, and now that I have this information, then I can readjust. No matter no matter how many facts and how much information you give them about this presidency, about the policies, they don't change their minds, because they're really not voting for the price of eggs. They're voting for white supremacy. They're voting for power. They're voting to have a preeminent voice. They're afraid of, they've been co-opted by many people in the Republican Party and Donald Trump to think that their failures are due to something else, the other, the black person, the woman, the Latino, the immigrant, the migrant. That person is taking your job. That person is the reason that you don't have the financial or career success that you think that you should have. It's because of them. We want to take our country back. That's what MAGA is.
Holy Moses, you believe the inversion of logic? Folks, did you catch what he said at the end? It's the most important part. The Nazi shit we've all heard before. I don't want to hear it ever again from a leftist. We have done yeoman's work cleaning up imposters in our movement. In the last 6 months, I've dedicated my life to it. It's not an easy conversation to have because some people fake it really well. So you can cut that bullshit right out. You just ran Nazi tattoo guy and he won your primary. The only reason you got rid of him is because his polling was down. Did you catch at the end? He's like, the right, these MAGA people, they do the othering. Like, your financial failures are the cause of others, and they create victims. Are you, again, brother, put the crack pipe down. That is the founding ideology of modern progressive liberalism is victim ideology. The trans guy, I don't have any rights. What rights? You're in a college in the middle of one of the most prosperous states in the union, Florida. What are you talking about? We played that video a couple weeks ago.
Alexa.
When those ladies interview the woman, she's like, I'm black and I'm gay and I have no rights. They're like, well, what rights don't you have? Couldn't name one. Couldn't name one. That is the founding ideology of the modern progressive liberal movement, is you're a victim of someone. And you see how they totally invert it? We're the exact opposite of that. We're going to talk to Dr. Bill coming up in a little bit about how this was a revolutionary idea we were founded on. The idea that all men are created equal with inalienable rights. This was a revolutionary. They don't believe in any of that. Folks, and they're brand ambassadors. In this influencer era right now, you have these brand ambassadors where people who have no life skills whatsoever. I'm not kidding, because I'm a capitalist, and if, you know, Jano Bag of Donuts wants to go out on Instagram and become famous for being Jano Bag of Donuts, I'm not good for you. If that's what the market demands, go for it. But a lot of companies have latched onto this influencer culture where they're like, hey, I have this handbag, whatever, Gucci or whatever it may be. We'll pay you to be a brand ambassador. Like, for what? I don't understand, like, how that appeals to people. What do I care if, you know, Janie Bag of Donuts is good looking on Instagram, wears a bag? Like, who gives a shit? But it works. The brand ambassadors for the left are the exact same. They have no life skills, no critical thinking skills at all. And suckers on the left, who all have the, you know, the green hair and all this stuff, they fall for this stuff. Here's a perfect example of what I'm talking about. The very same left, like the Don Lemons and others, that'll criticize some guy wearing a sombrero on Cinco de Mayo for cultural appropriation. They'll lose their mind. I can't believe you're culturally, what a racist. The very same zeros and dipshits that'll do that have no problem with Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. I don't know if you caught this yesterday. On her now, 15th different accent? Now she's from the South. And here's the kicker. You guys, you missed this yesterday. If you saw this on cable news, wait, let's see who in the chat catches it. Me and Justin both missed it until we didn't. I played this clip 3-4 times, and at the end we were like, wait, there's something in this that's especially appealing to the people who dance and act and bullshit people for a living. Listen to AOC, the queen of the bullshitters, who's now faking her, again, 15th or 20th accent. She's Southern now. You're going to see her at the Iron Bowl this year or something. I think it's in Tuscaloosa. Check this out.
We cannot afford to leave Tennessee behind. We cannot afford to leave Kentucky behind, Alabama behind, Mississippi behind, Georgia behind.
Those sound good. Might try making those. There's a recipe on the back of this. It says, try our broccoli, cheese, and rice muffins. I think I will try making those. Not today. Maybe another day we'll make those.
No, I can't believe it. We just caught it at the end. All right, I'll give it to you.
Alexa,
that's what I'm here for.
play the next song.
Who is she campaigning for? Justin, you want to help him out? Yes! Yes! Justin J. Pearson, dancing guy. Did you? I swear I missed it. So I'm with you guys. You've only seen it once. I had to see it 2 or 3 times because you get so distracted by the horrendous rendition of a Southern accent. It's not even good. It's not even good. I always tell you I love the South, but I never fake the funk. How many times? That's within it. How many times have I said to you all? I ask respectfully to my Southern brothers and sisters, because I love you so much, please take me in as your adopted son. I don't fake a Southern accent. I'm a Yankee. She's out there campaigning for dancing guy, Justin J. Pearson. This guy, while doing the fake Southern accent. Folks, you live in Tennessee. Please don't tell me you're getting played by this. I know you're not. I love Tennessee. Been there many times. There is no way. Morgan Wallen, help us out. There's no, write a song about this or something. There is no way you're being taken by this bullshit act. When we saw it, I'm like, this can't be. Is this the dancing guy? I had to look it up twice just to be sure. Justin J. Pearson. Folks,
the dirty South.
Why?
The Boondocks.
Given that stupid we know is a choice, correct? With the advent and explosion of AI, I can't say this enough. If you're an 85 IQ person, okay, and you work hard, God loves you like anyone else. You've got other gifts. Not everything is your intelligence quotient. But whereas you can't overcome a strength deficit, mean, you can use robotics and tools. However, if you're kind of stuck. You can overcome an intelligence deficit. You're given a surrogate brain with the explosion in AI. In other words, what I'm getting at is there is no reason to be stupid. If you want to go farm with a hoe and not mechanical, you're going to take 2,000 times as long as a farmer with technology tools. You have to go spend money. A lot of these open source models are just free. There's no excuse to be stupid anymore. You can go and look this stuff up. But when you have brand ambassadors and influencers, not leaders, like AOC and dancing guy Justin Pearson, and you choose that, you've chosen the road of stupid. And that's how you get things like this. Nate Friedman went out and did a man on the street and he asked this socialist ESA guy, like, hey man, give us your elevator pitch for socialism. You got 2 floors to go, someone's stuck in the elevator with you, it's a business term, and you got to sell me in a minute or 2 between floors. Give me your pitch for socialism. This may be the single dumbest explanation for socialism. The guy doesn't even know, or is faking not knowing, that socialism and socializing are not the same thing. They're Bro, you saw it, right? Justin's laughing. He thinks it's the same word. Stupid is a choice. You don't have to be stupid. You don't have to follow influencers and brand ambassadors like AOC and Dancing Guy. You can do your own homework. Yeah, you think I'm making this up? Watch this yourself.
More than half of young Americans now prefer socialism over capitalism. So if you can look into the camera and give a 30-second elevator pitch on why socialism is better than capitalism. Community. Are you tired of sitting alone and being by yourself and having no one to talk to? Being a socialist is all about community. It's about literally sitting down and having coffee with a random stranger and talking to them, talking about the game. Hell, I have hugged more strangers in this past summer because of the Knicks game, because of the World Cup, because socialism works. It ain't a scary word. It ain't me taking your house. It's about me making sure your house remains in your hands and some million doesn't take it from you. That's it.
That's not exactly what socialism is, but you can understand why it sounds attractive. It is simple. I'm going to stop your rent from going up. I'm going to protect you from the greedy landlords. I'm going to keep you in your home. Yet it's under the socialist Mamdani where the median rent in New York City has hit an all-time high of nearly $1,500 a month. This is how it happens. First, Mamdani freezes the rent for nearly 1 million apartments. That means the landlord is legally blocked from raising prices, even if there's repairs or higher taxes. So some landlords can't afford to maintain the apartment. Then comes the final step. The government takes control and they call it social housing. But it just means the state uses the crisis it helped create as the excuse to take private property away from the owner. The most important thing is that in his pitch, he doesn't need any facts about socialism being better, which comes in handy because it's never worked.
Yes! Yes! The gifts of socialism, of course, we use that term laughingly. One of them is the stupid choice, the stupid exit on the highway. This guy could just look it up, but he doesn't because he follows influencer brand ambassadors like AOC and Mamdani who go out there and say things like, buy this bag, and inside the bag is a pile of dog shit, and people buy it anyway, like, ignore the smell, you can just look it up. Mamdani, we need more rent control. Just put in a freaking surrogate brain AI. Has this actually worked anywhere? If a person who owns property can't get a return on the property, why would he put money into the property? Only idiots will explain that away by, well, we get to socialize and hang out at like a Knicks game. That's socialism. And I love how he uses the word literally. The idiot explaining socialism when he's really explaining socializing. He's like, it literally means I can hang out with people. Yeah, you will. I take that back. He's correct. Justin's like, you just refuted your own point. No, you do get to hang out in a gulag. You go get hung, you're strung up behind your back. They like cut your fingers off and stuff like that. You get to hang out with people. It's just not at the Knicks game. It's not at the Knicks game. And the game ain't fun. It's like, how many digits can we cut off before he bleeds to death? It's like really, one of the greatest gifts of socialism is the stupid ramp off the highway. It's like the mask, Justin. They go, oh no, I promise I'm going to. The mask was great for everyone during COVID. It showed you who the morons were. The problem with socialism is they hide among us like ninjas. It's like until you actually put a mic in front of them, you don't know who the idiots are. You thought I was going there. I know. And some of you laugh at the P1s. You know me with the men. The mask was the greatest gift to anyone. It was. It was. It showed you instantly who the stupid people were, right? When we were like, after the initial panic wore off, I saw the mask, I knew to cross the street. I didn't want to be infected. If they had a stupid virus, like some prion, I didn't want it. So I instantly crossed the street. Again, with a mask on. Justin saw a woman in a convertible with a mask on. Man, I don't know how she breathed. How'd she get air in? That mask has got her sealed off. Folks, people like AOC, influencer politicians, brand managers and brand ambassador politicians who are ambassadors for the brand of socialism and tyranny, a lot of them are doing this to you intentionally. I'm not sure Justin Pearson, dancing guy, is. He doesn't seem too bright based on some of his arguments. AOC either. But Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren are not stupid. This is not a compliment, folks, by the way. Don't take it that way. The people who are brand ambassadors for communism, socialism, and tyranny fall in two camps. Deliberately misleading people through propaganda. And second, the stupid ones who just can't do any homework or don't want to because they're just lazy and stupid. AOC's probably in the latter camp. But there is a very serious, listen to me, please, like missile lock-in, this is really critical.
Oh yeah, I remember that was bad.
There are things I can say and things I can't say. It's fairly obvious. But one thing I'm comfortable saying now, especially after President Trump's speech on Thursday night, which everyone should go back and watch in full. Don't buy the left-wing interpretations. Watch it yourself.
And the guy, and it's like,
and I'm absolutely comfortable putting this out there. There is a massive repository of foreign funds going in now to the United States to influence you through social media and elsewhere. And the influence campaign is to get you to hate this country and its institutions.
Yeah, taking
the president's not kidding. I've seen it. I've lived it. It is for real. There are a number of operations going on right now. I don't want to hear from nothing. Say you don't know squat. I heard some obese comedian yesterday, like again, typical like moron d-bag who doesn't know anything about it. You have no idea what's going on behind the scenes. It's a very organized effort to try and stop some of this. You're starting to hear about it more now.
They still haven't really addressed it.
Here's a clip yesterday from Fox. It's not just Russia and China. This is also coming from communist Protestant countries as well, communist institutions in Cuba as well. Check this out.
No, I know what you're saying. Democratic Socialists of America, National Lawyers Guild, National Network.
Right, we try to keep that out of our state departments and politics. They just let it get flooded with that. I think maybe to stop it, because it was happening so much privately and behind curtains and closed doors and in these meetings. So people started kind of showing that behavior and wording and stuff people were saying. And then when people call us out or other people for how horrible to say something and to act, it's like, yeah, exactly. That's what we've been dealing with. I'm glad you find it appalling.
We also see from Cuban-linked groups, we're seeing fomentation of protests and other violent activity. And then we see other Cuban-linked groups then bail those that are in jail for violent activity, bail them out of prison to release them back onto American streets. This report details a decades-long influence and espionage campaign that continues to this day, and really is an untold story. It's a story where we hear bits and pieces here and there, but presents this as the network that it is,
and then that unagi stuff.
Both ideologically, through logistical support, and as the nexus, the node of a network of far-left extremism that is undermining the security of the United States of America.
I love pickled stuff.
That was Tommy Pigott, Marco Rubio's spokesperson at the State Department. You think Rubio's making that up? Folks, let me ask you again, for the nothing is happening D-bags out there, anti-American dipshits who are either too stupid
it is really
or too ignorant
neat to learn the history. We should do that one again.
Tommy
we haven't done it in a
Pigott
while. The
says
history
right.
of
They launched
canning,
this now. The timing is not
mason
accidental.
jars, airtight containers.
And did you notice what he said, Justin? He said it was an untold story. Why was the story untold? Because communists, liberals, and progressives inside prior Democratic administrations,
what else
probably
can you
establishing
pickle?
Republican administrations,
There's
were just
pickled eggs
uncomfortable
and pickled
putting it out there
peppers
because they
and
just didn't want you to
pickled
know.
cucumbers.
Because some of their common goals were to
It's
take down the
interesting they
United
call
States,
pickled
even though they were
cucumbers
part of it.
pickles.
It took a lot of work to uncover some of this stuff. They don't just
Why aren't
say,
they
I'm
pickled
an influence
cucumbers?
op. You don't get
That's
a
a good
paid
question.
partnership
There's
thing
pickled
under a foreign
pig's feet.
influence op.
Don't get them, please.
It took work
Don't
to
get-
do that.
You know, I
and it's
remember
going
when
to
I was
take
a
work
kid,
to dismantle it. It's
when
never
we
going to
go
stop.
into the, remember the
Foreign
pickled
enemies of the
pig's
United
feet?
States have been doing this for a long time to promote the unholy alliance. But again, I get tired of hearing from losers.
You
who
walk
never
into the
sacrificed a
store and you
single
see
effing
those
thing in
jars
their
of
entire
pickled
lives.
pig's
Eating
feet.
their freaking ho-hos and ding-dongs. Talking about like what everyone else who actually did.
Why? Why would you eat a pickled pig's foot? I'm pretty sure it was a joke. Like, they'll eat anything.
They are trying to break up.
Put a pig's foot in a jar and pickle it, and they'll fucking eat it. Smack some cheese on it. Smack some gravy on it.
Agency and elsewhere are desperately trying to break up and fight back against
It's all in the sauce,
just
baby.
mammoth-like
It's all in the
effort by
sauce.
foreign countries to get us to implode from the inside. There is so much money and so many people who've been advertently and inadvertently bought off. You've seen it. They work through surrogates sometimes. You think you're doing, you're in whatever, Podcastistan or whatever, and you get a solicitation from whatever, AmericaFirst.inc.
You know, there's not too many people.
You don't
There's
realize
not too
some of
many
it's a
people that
proxy for a
just
foreign
eat
operation.
a piece of meat
It's
that
happened over
hasn't
and
been
over.
seasoned
This stuff is real.
or have
Because
something
they
on
want
it,
to
with a
promote
seasoning,
these foreign
a
governments and
sauce.
disintegration from the inside. The best way to do it is to promote the unholy
No, really.
alliance
I mean, if you just eat a
of the
piece
liberal
of
communist
preserved
left
rotting
and the Islamo
flesh
fanatics. There's no
with
better
no
example
seasoning
of
at
this
all,
than Linda
no
Sarsour.
salt, no nothing.
You may know the name.
You just cook it, maybe cook
I
it
think
in
the
some
woman's
butter.
insane. I think
Dip
her
it in
ideas
some
are
tallow,
crazy.
some
But
hot
I want you to
tallow.
listen to
Don't
this
put
clip, how
anything
she
on
makes
it.
this sound so
Don't dip it in
wonderful.
any
They are
A1
very,
sauce or
very
nothing.
good at organizing. This unholy alliance of Islamo fanatics
I
and
mean, what's the
progressive
point?
communists
I mean, what
are
can you get from that
extremely good
that
at
you're not
organizing.
getting from
They're winning races everywhere. Don't just think it's in New York,
other
Colorado,
proteins
the potential race in Arizona today.
amino
Arizona.
acids and stuff from plants?
They are very good at organizing. Check this out.
I think it's 150th anniversary of the Declaration.
I'm pretty
of
sure.
This is quote unquote America's birthday. And the question historically is going to be what were we
In the
doing
flesh
on the
itself? No, but I mean, there might be.
of the Declaration of
See, when you get into like
we have the
the
audacity to sit around and say that we want to
organ,
build a
more
document
organ
that is our
meat.
values and our principles and bring
So you
millions
like
of
the
Americans
liver,
around
not
it
the
and
rotting
send people on the
flesh.
streets.
You
I
like the
see
organ
mutual
meat,
aid efforts.
okay?
I see young people running for office. I see people of color
You only
marginalized
eat
people
dark
getting up
meat?
and saying,
Okay.
"I'm the leader
I've heard that because
I
turkeys, you have your white meat and your dark meat. Why is some white and some dark? It's
Don't give up
interesting.
hope, folks. There's more to come. We're going to survive this. And some of us are going to be on the fight back. And some of us are going to be on the other side waiting to catch you.
Let's
when you
ask
win.
Purdue.
There got to be other people that are going to be building the thing that you're going to come to when once we win this fight back. Because we will win, my friend. So.
Right, and then of course you have use them animals to source insulin. Huh?
Folks, why is this seemingly milquetoast clip if you don't pay close attention? Why am I putting it on the shelf? Because it's not milquetoast at all. This is burnt toast.
I've read when you read the history of insulin. Wow.
What did she say then?
Pretty interesting, huh?
There's this battle going on.
Yeah, it's neat stuff to learn about. I think it's really important and good to learn about so people understand the history and the process.
At least she knows the 250th anniversary.
Right. I mean, you don't just want
She may
people
just look it up
blindly
on Gemini.
taking stuff because their doctor said so,
She's
right?
talking about the Declaration of Independence.
I think that's actually horrible and dangerous and detrimental to tell people, but okay. You know, I think that's really stupid. Yeah, because I tell you, if I had done what some of the Western medicine doctors had told me to do, I'd be dead. I would have been dead a long time ago.
To what?
Right, so that's why a lot of them want to push it out. They want to kill people. There's too many people,
what
huh?
Exactly,
Can't
what
enjoy your
exactly
space.
in specifics you're talking about? You see the Islamo nuts? And the
Right, well, I mean, obviously that's not true with them. They're telling you to have babies.
Talking points?
Have more babies.
We want to build a document that is our values and our principles and bring millions of Americans around it. And so I see
a new document. A new document. What exactly is that document? Is it the Quran or something? Because that's not the kind of document like we're looking to build a governance system on. Listen to Brother Dan. The unholy
Yeah, some
alliance
people
is
use
real.
those kind of things to
And if
get
you're one of these people
tryptophan.
who got emotional about it, And you just
Yeah,
fell
you
in
can
the
get
trap. There's
tryptophan
still
source
time to
from plants
repent and
too,
save
right?
yourself, your kids, and your country. By the way, folks, I'm not dicking around when I tell you this. I say this to Democrats.
So plant-based tryptophan is an essential amino acid crucial for serotonin and melatonin production. Seeds, soy products, yeah, tofu, stuff like that. Nuts and whole grains. Top foods to incorporate your diet include pumpkin seeds. Yeah, that pumpkin seed powder, yeah, works good, yeah. Love it. Chia seeds, spirulina, firm tofu, soybeans, edamame, and oats. Right, so I mean, you don't, right, say if you were to just eat oats every day. Right, eventually it can maybe start to counteract himself. I like to switch things up. I eat oatmeal sometimes. I get soy in different forms. Seeds, I love seeds and pumpkin seed protein. The pumpkin seed powder stuff, yeah, it's good. Spirulina, tofu. Yeah. Some of the mixed green drinks have the spirulina, chia seeds right in it. Good stuff to learn about, huh? Well, I mean, we don't want to veer people away from not taking prescription drugs to help with their sadness or depression or PTSD or probably just stressed out from the psychotic drug addict adults around them. I'm pretty sure we've analyzed enough cases. I can say that pretty confidently. Lentils and chickpeas, quinoa, pineapple and bananas. Yeah, it kind of just keeps, a healthy source field going, chemical production. Right, because your body uses those things, to make endorphins, serotonin, melatonin. Probably really good things to learn about, huh? Back to that square one with basic human understanding and functioning. That handful of things nobody seems to want to talk about. Overprescribing of SSRIs, the dangers of vaccines. Oh, you don't want to get sued, remember? Oprah, when she said she didn't want to eat a burger. Yeah, be careful. Yeah, you fucking people are fucking sucky bitches. Much love, health, and peace to you all. I really hope the proper authorities here in Augusta, Maine do what they're supposed to do to help these children, because this fucking circus act is ridiculous. Much love, health, and peace to you all.